Welcome to Setting the Stage. I'm Brooke Savage. Right now you could catch Junie B. Jones in Boo and I Mean It at Orlando Family Stage. Chelsea Talmadge plays Junie B. Jones, but you might also recognize her from a little show called Stranger Things. She's here to talk to us all about it. Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, I always start off with, how did you get into acting, and tell us about your background at Orlando Family Stage.
Well, those I can answer together, actually. I would say I got my start here in Orlando. This is home base for me. So actually, I am an Orlando Family Stage bred kid. They taught me everything I know, truly. I did so many summer camps growing up there that I still remember all the dances, but they definitely raised me there, and it was an amazing experience, and they have so many amazing educators and people teaching you everything you need to know about theater and acting and the world of the industry. And it was just an amazing place to learn all of those things as a young actor, and they really do, I think, what is the word I'm looking for? They really hone your skills there. And foster them in a really loving and caring environment.
So it was like a summer camp you went to, right? Did you do anything during the year as well there?
Yes, actually, I think that was my first year in their season as well. So I did a summer stock production there at 42nd Street, and I learned basically how to tap during that show. So they made me the tapper that I am today. But I had auditioned for their season. I believe that was the first year I had booked Anne Frank and me at their theater, which was previously known as the Orlando Repertory Theater.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So talk us through your journey to landing a role in Stranger Things as Carol.
I think that travels back to, I want to say 2014, 2015 was when I received the audition from my agent here in Florida, actually. And yeah, that was a whirlwind of a ride. It consisted of 4 different callbacks, 2 of them being self-tape and the last 2 in the room. And that was just a crazy process. I was originally auditioning for Barb, which a lot of people don't know or realize, but I think that they were so right to cast Shannon Purser in that role, and she became so relatable on so many levels to so many people, and she's special in my heart as well. So the casting process could not have been more, it was honestly so much fun. I remember being in the room and there was an air about it, because when I was called in to read for Carol finally, which is the role I inevitably ended up booking, they had asked me to do, to just play with her, which is so rare in a room where you get the freedom to just play. And the Duffers were very, free with giving me the freedom to do that. And so they asked me to go find bubble gum and if I could chew that in the room. And they had me looking for all sorts of things from, I need gum, up to my mom in the waiting room. She's like, oh, this must be going well. Let me see if I have gum. But it was a blast. And yeah, that was just a crazy whirlwind. So that is how I ended up at Stranger Things on Netflix.
Where were you at the time, in your life? Were you still in school, or how did it happen?
I had moved to LA at 18 years old in my beat-up Honda Civic with my stepdad, who drove me out there at 18. And they were in full support of that, and we figured school will always be there. And one of my educators actually at the rep said that I should take the initiative now because I looked so young. Mm-hmm. So we really took that to heart, and I moved out there and was gung-ho, and I gave myself 4 years, and I said if it didn't work out, I'd come back and go to school. And 3 to 4 years had passed, and I moved back home, and I was kind of set on starting school, and sure enough, I got an email about Stranger Things and Still the King, and they said, you can just tape it from home, you don't have to fly here. I said, okay, why not? And those were the 2 that landed.
I feel like I hear so many actor stories about that, how they're getting ready to,
give it all up.
Give it up, and then they land that dream role.
Yeah. It's crazy. When it rains, it pours, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And where did you film, and what was your day-to-day life like while filming?
So with Stranger Things, I was based in Atlanta. which was a wonderful place to film during the fall because it was amazing cold weather, which we never have here in Florida. But I was also simultaneously filming Still the King. So I was between Nashville and Atlanta, like that was my full-time job. So I was rarely home during that time. And yeah, I was young. I was 22 when I think I booked that show. So it was fun to be around people who were, doing the same things I was doing. And we were all similar age groups, which was also nice. So we got to really bond on set, and that was a joy.
Yeah. Do you still keep up with anyone from the cast?
I mean, we try to keep in touch. You know what I mean? There are certain people that definitely you click with more, and they keep in touch a lot avidly. But those people are so busy, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, they are so busy, and so we just understand. If I do see them, I'm usually running into them at conventions and things like that where we meet with fans. So that's always a good time, and that's really where I get to spend more time with them.
Awesome. So you're doing conventions too?
Oh, yes. I have one coming up in January.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Decade Days. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you're around.
Well, what made you want to return to Central Florida and play Junie B. Jones, the icon?
I mean, how could you not?
I know, right?
I personally have a long-lasting relationship with Junie B. As I was telling you earlier, my first grade teacher, Miss Croft, I believe it was first grade. I want to believe that it was, because then we would have been around the same age. But yeah, her name was Miss Croft, and she used to read them to us after lunch. And I just remember falling in love with that character in this book. And she was very big on doing voices so that she could differentiate the characters for us in the classroom. And I loved that. And I think that was honestly my first glimpse at acting in a way. And, oh, this character can be, somebody that I recognize or relate to. And she really kind of started that journey for me in a small way that she's probably unaware of.
Yeah. So when you heard about the show, you were like, oh, I have to come back and audition.
Yes. I actually was, it's so lovely that it's a New Works too. So I get to be a part of that process with Allison Gregory, the playwright, who is amazing and such funny work on paper. And then to be able to bring that to life is like this whole other journey as an actor that I haven't quite gotten to do yet. So I think that's really what pulled me to it this time around. But I truly do love this character, and I, if given the opportunity, will continue to play her for many, many years, honestly.
Oh, that would be awesome. If you could do a television show or a movie.
Hey, let's, fingers crossed, put that out there.
But you mentioned a little bit, it's also the world premiere of the show, right?
Yes, this is the first
cool.
time it's being done. So we get to really create it in the space and bring it to life, and that has been extraordinarily rewarding for me.
Yeah. And talk to us about what it takes for you to play your role. Is there anything you do before a show, or?
We get about an hour to get ready and prepare and get dressed and get into character. For me, Junie comes naturally, so I don't feel the need to really do any acting exercises before going on stage or anything like that. But the rehearsal process really gave me that freedom to play with her. So I feel that I've discovered her by now.
And how do you get into your character's headspace?
Have you spent a lot of time with kids?
Yes, I have 6 nephews.
That's how. Yeah. Kids are awesome. And, honestly, it's the energy from the audience as well, I think, changed our show, right? Because once you get kids in those seats, it changes everything. Yeah. And you really do realize who you're talking to and who you're trying to connect with. And so it really brings you into the character as well.
How do you feel as though you relate to your character?
In so many ways. Junie is a firecracker, and I would consider myself to be a bit of that as well. She definitely says what's on her mind, as I probably do as well, but maybe shouldn't. But yeah, I definitely relate to her in a lot of those ways. And she's just a ball of energy, and I love being able to portray that for kids. And also, for a lot of them, I think this might be their first time seeing a show or a play, and maybe I'm the thing that makes them want to enter that realm and that stage in this industry. So I'm excited to be doing that for them as well.
That is a great way to think about it.
Yeah.
And it must mean so much to you to be able to play completely different characters, to go from Carol in like a creepy TV show and now a fun first grader.
This is a lot more fun than
Yes.
Stranger Things. No offense. I mean, Stranger Things is fun in a lot of different ways. The special effects and the people you're working with and the crew and the cameras. And it's a much different experience. But this is also a rewarding experience in itself because you know you are, impacting some young lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, this could be a fun question, although I might know your answer. If you could play any other role in the show, who would you be and why?
In Junie B?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe Mother. Mother is such a fun character, and I have to hand it to Elena, who plays her in the show. She does a wonderful job. But Mother is just so fun. She has so many layers. And when you're working with adults playing kids, I think that's an extra fun layer to work with and play with. So I think Mother.
Yeah. And what's your favorite part of this show?
I don't want to give any spoilers, but there's a fruitcake bit that is just the most fun to do. That would be my favorite scene. We'll call it a scene. It's the fruitcake scene at the carnival.
Okay.
That is my favorite.
And that's based off the books, right?
It is.
'Cause
Yeah,
I feel
they're
like,
all based off the book. So this
Yeah.
book is, the show usually combines two plays. Allison Gregory is very good at that, at combining at least two of the books into one show. So that's what we did here, and this one is Yucky Plucky Fruitcake
Yes.
and Boo and I Mean It.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun to bring those two together and kind of see how they live in the space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what is the main message you hope people take away from the show?
That it's okay to not be the bestest winner all the time. You can lose and still support your friends, and I think Junie struggles with that, but in the end we really learn and see her thrive in that space.
Right. And isn't it also about facing your fears and things like that?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, that's a given. Boo and I mean it. So, yes, she goes on this long journey throughout the show of finding out, what's scary and how to be brave and how to accomplish all these things and defeat these fears. So we really see that journey through her eyes, and it's a fun place to be for the holiday season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I'm hearing all these trick-or-treating songs prior to show starting, and I feel like I have them all memorized at this point.
Listen, not gonna lie, I love the happy Halloween stories more than the horror Halloween stories.
I think, yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I personally was a huge fraidy cat growing up. It's amazing that I ended up in this horror sphere world in Hollywood, but it's not what I expected because growing up I did not watch any horror films. They would give me nightmares and I'd have my mother up all night. Yes. So at some point it was like, okay, you're not allowed to watch those anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny how full circle moment, that's basically all I do now, but glad to be in this space. It's a nice change.
I am the same exact way, not going to lie. Have you gotten any feedback from the show, like from families or kids?
Oh yeah, they love it. I mean, I think Junie has a huge fan base. Some of them are chanting my name throughout the show. So that's just fun. You hear Junie, 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 and it just really gets you going. So,
do you get to meet them after the show too? You know how sometimes actors meet the people?
Back in the day, we always did meet and greets after the show and would sign, their little playbills and things of that nature. But ever since COVID, that's really changed. So we don't get that immediate gratitude after every show necessarily, but we hear it in the audience and we can see it and we can feel it. So we know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it a little bit. What's next for you after this show?
Well, I'm actually going to hang out at the Orlando Family Stage a little longer. I will be playing Sally in their Charlie Brown's Christmas this season. So,
I love it.
Yeah, they were very kind to have me back, and so I've agreed to stick around.
Oh, that is
I'm very
awesome.
excited. She's a much different child than Junie, so.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to bring up about Junie B. Jones or Stranger Things?
Oh gosh, well, tune in for the next season. I'm sure it's coming out very soon, and we're all looking forward to it. Junie B. Jones runs until November 1st, so you can catch us there. And what else? Yeah, Decade Days. If you are around and want to come meet me at the conventions, I'll be there.
That's going to be here in Orlando?
I want to say it's in Florida. I'm not sure it's in Orlando, and I would have to double check.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
We'll
but Decade Days, the 24th through the 26th, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. Yeah. Well, like Chelsea mentioned, I'm going to post the details and information on Junie B. Jones inBOO, and I mean it, at Orlando Family Stage. I'll have that information for you on clickorlando.com/settingthestage. Chelsea, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me again. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, this has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.